Yo, this is Ace Banton in SAT building, baby. You're watching SAT Telecom, that's the #1 choice. Boom!
Whenever the iron play, I'll be there. Wherever the steel band play, I'll be there. Anytime it's carnival, yo, festival, bacchanal, behind the big truck, down the road, everybody, they know that I'll be there. Yo, this is Mr. Challenge, you're watching SAT TV, the people's choice.
Good evening, welcome to SAT TV News. I am Deslyn Joseph, your presenter for today. In our top stories today, police need public's assistance in search for missing man. Britain slams Turks and Caicos Premier's CARICOM speech. Pope Francis begins his challenging papacy. And in sports, girls to feature in Sports Division's 2013 Primary Schools Football Championship. Details of these and other stories after the break.
SAT Telecoms. And I'm a tutuni. Big up, one love.
It's only when we unite as one, then a lot more thing can be done. Stop this useless fight down, killing out your own brother man. Time we rise and all realize we have an enemy in disguise, standing right in the mix of you. Got to know who is who. This is Derek Peters and you're watching SAT TV. That's what I have, SAT TV. SAT TV, that's the way to go. Rah! To the world. Ooh diddy, ooh diddy, ooh diddy.
Thank you for staying with us. After a 3-year relentless battle with the issue of dual citizenship, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court made a decision to dismiss the appeal. Mr. Ron Green, a petitioner in the case, voiced his outlook on the results of the ECSC.
The first thing is that we in La Plaine, the people of the community, know the truth. They know exactly that Peter St. Jean has used a passport consistently over the last number of years. He has boasted about it in the community. So the truth is known at the level of the community and in most of Dominica. But somehow, it's sad that the court couldn't find a way, even though they had it in the subpoena, to get that truth out.
He said his first reaction was that of shame, where our leaders have found it necessary to continue hiding the truth and celebrate lies. Her Lordship Honorable Janise Pereira handed down the decision on the basis that the UWP petitioners did not provide sufficient evidence on the existence of the passport. However, Mr. Green had this to say.
We provided quite a few documents, yes, including letters that the Prime Minister wrote, indicating that he had a passport because of a case in Jamaica which came out in March of 2009 that said that having a passport meant that you had allegiance to a foreign power. His letter, which he wrote just before nomination day, made reference to that case in Jamaica, which was an clear indication that he had a passport. But the actual passport, it is true to say, was not presented by us.
Though this matter of the dual citizenship is closed, there are still other matters that need pursuing, said the former leader of the UWP.
Our electoral systems being modernized, that is an issue that will remain. Ever since 2005, we have made the strongest case possible to say that, look, we are a young democracy. What happened in December of 2009 should never happen again, the level of corruption. So modernize our electoral system, put in a voter ID card, give us access to state media, ensure that the electoral list is cleansed. Let us look at the issue of campaign finance. Let us find a way to modernize our electoral system so that the people's will is truly represented in those who are legally elected to the parliament.
In a previous statement, Mr. Green said that the UWP will now move to educate people on the truth pertaining to issues that affect us as a nation.
It's a question of continuing our contact with communities, with people throughout the various corners of Dominica to make the point that we have been making. I think the most fundamental point is that our economy and the opportunity for our people, especially our young people, to get jobs has been a total failure on the part of this Skerrit-led Labour Party.
Mr. Green emphasized that there are sectors of the economy that are in total disaster, namely agriculture. In more news, the vision of Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, DAIC, is the creation of a Dominican private sector that is proactive and visionary in its approach to embracing opportunities and challenges. At the annual general meeting of the DAIC, held at Fortune Hotel on March 13, 2013, 6 new members were elected to the board of majority votes, while 6 members stepped down for various reasons.
We start off with myself as the president, Lilian Piper. Mr. Jeffrey Baptiste is our vice president. Mr. Edmund Bash is our treasurer. We have, continuing on, Mr. Stephen Astafan and also Mrs. Marissa Gabriel Smelda. Additionally, we have nominated and by vote added on Mr. Paul Frampton of First Caribbean Bank, thank you so much. Mr. Oreen Jolly from Jolly's Pharmacy, thank you, sir. We have Mrs. Lisa De Freitas Nesty adding the law segment to our board. We appreciate that. Mr. Norman Roll, thank you, sir, for accepting the nomination. We have Mrs. Kira Thompson Aird of HHV Whitchurch. And last but never least, we have Mr. Robert Tung of First Domestic Insurance.
Featured speaker at the AGM, Mr. Gary Aird, reminisced on the past where they did not have the luxuries and technology that we presently have. Mr. Ed stated the significant and positive things that stood out and kept businesses going over the years were loyal, hard-working staff, good support from bankers, and a vibrant banana industry.
A vibrant banana industry with money going directly into the pockets of the farmers, which immediately impacted the economy. There was no loan coming from somewhere where you had to wait months and months. Every week, the farmers received their money and they spent it right away. Whether it was going to AC Shillingford to buy a Bedford truck, coming to Whitchurch for insurance, whatever, the money was circulating right away.
He said, now in the 21st century, we are in a stagnant world economy where companies are struggling, and spoke of the low productivity rate and lack of a loyalty that businesses are faced with. Mrs. Janise Moore, a long-standing entrepreneur, said she navigated the biggest challenges of the Dominican economy over the years. Her first venture was the banana industry at Eden Estate, where they worked relentlessly to produce the best bananas. Later, she took on a new venture that would later be one of the successful hotels in Dominica.
Anchorage Guest House. The passing yachtsmen were intrigued and often came ashore for a drink and a meal. So in 1970, we converted the ground floor of our home into 4 guest rooms, air-conditioned with private bath and separate dining and bar area, swimming pool and dinghy pier. These rooms were called the Anchorage Guest House, and they did well. The adjoining land was offered to us, so we bought this and expanded into a 15-room hotel with a tennis court. This not only attracted a strong local clientele, but also met the demand for seaside accommodation in the Roseau area.
Mrs. Armour stated she had enjoyed partnerships and open lines of communication with both private and public sectors.
Being in this forum, there are some major issues and developments facing our nation that the DAIC could lobby for to assist us in successfully navigating into the future. Alternative energy, whether thermal or hydro. A LEAT turnaround, whether it means they amalgamate with Caribbean Airways, who have efficient aircraft, access to 50% discounted fuel, and scheduled direct flights to UK and Miami. Development of medical tourism, which can be complemented with health and wellness tourism, aptly suited to the longevity of nature island citizens and supported by the medical universities. A vendors plaza and clean up the bayfront. College education to include captaincy, hotel management, and chef certificates. Monitor and produce books to address the last need so that farmers can reap what they have planted. Aid Bank refinance at interest rates comparable with new development loans. I propose that DAIC and DHDA use their collective membership to contribute to a plan of action on the way forward in these areas.
Mr. McMillan reveals his most memorable days in the business world.
I'm associated with business for over 40 years. I'm in business for over 40 years. Gasoline, as you know, is a volume commodity. And because of our small buying population, the narrow road network, coupled with limited night activities, selling gasoline can only get you popular and not rich.
He said that through his years of business, he looked at it as a greasy pole. He mentioned that a loan and a visa from the US Embassy assisted him with the expansion of his business. The DAIC was grateful for the advice of the featured speakers as they compared the past with the present to having a fulfilling future. In more news, the Rotaract Club of Dominica views the month of March as a special time of the year as it is observed as World Rotaract Week. A number of activities commenced from March 7, 2013 to honor the founding of the first club chartered in North Carolina in 1968. The week commemorates the success and importance of the Rotaract program and offers an opportunity to inform the local community about the amazing works accomplished by the Rotaract Club around the world. Public Relations Officer of the Rotaract Club of Roseau, Ms. Ashma McDougall, says this time also serves as an opportunity to attract interested persons in joining the club.
Now, the Rotary Club of Roseau is our sponsor, and they afforded us the freedom to explore a variety of methods of participating in World Rotaract Week, and we decided that the best way for our club to do that was to incorporate activities that fall under every committee within Rotaract. And so we started off the project on Thursday last week, basically with an international community, with an international committee project. And that was an international extravaganza night where different committees were challenged with building costumes that represent different countries. Now, each committee had the opportunity to engage with different Rotaract groups which are chartered in the country that they're representing. So it basically gives us an opportunity to as well interact with different Rotaractors.
She said, being the young generation of the service above self philosophy, World Rotaract Day echoes the voices of stewardship with a common activity. Part of the week activities began on Sunday, March 10th, when the club teamed up with the Roseau Fire Department and Roseau City Council to take on a street cleanup project cleaning a number of streets in Roseau. A presentation was also made to the Agana Project, which is a venue for young people to develop themselves and get involved in positive activities.
The main responsibilities of Rotaractors within this enterprise is basically assisting with the recruitment process, to target the communities of choice, and which would be Gutter Community as well as Tire Street. And that's the community that we chose for the program, and basically our will be volunteering time to assist with the program as a community teacher person. On Thursday evening, we'll be hosting our traditional guest night in which different guests or prospective Rotaractors will be invited to see what Rotaract is all about, and if they're interested, get a feel of what is to come if they do intend on joining. And on Saturday, we'll be having our prize giving ceremony for the Princess Show. I think Rotaract Cover Virgo organizes the Carnival Princess Show annually. This is a great success, and we're having our prize giving ceremony to award the girls for their participating in the show.
Sunday, March 17th, we close the celebration of World Rotaract Week with a celebratory mass at the Portsmouth Catholic Church from 8 a.m. Ms. McDougall says, through the celebration of World Rotaract Week, it is a wish that more people will join the club as they host their weekly meeting every Thursday from 7:30 p.m. She noted that so far, all of the projects organized have been successful through the hard work of the club members. She went on to say that the club will continue to serve their communities and country.
Growing up as a child, myself as a teenager, I was involved in many clubs. And I say that growing up, actually participating in a club, it helps develop your discipline, it helps develop diligence, responsibility, and as well time management. And I believe, regardless of the benefits that you may give to the club, your skill, or whatever you contribute to the club in itself, it helps develop you as a person. It helps develop you wholly. And I believe that it's a two-way benefit. So your contribution helps the community, but as well, your involvement helps to develop you.
Rotaract is an international program for young adults who believe in making a difference. As an affiliate of Rotary International, Rotaract provides an opportunity for young adults to enhance the knowledge and skills that will assist in their personal development to address the physical and social needs of their communities. It is also to promote better relationships between people worldwide through a framework and friendship and service. In more news, the police are soliciting assistance from the general public in locating Matthew Bourgonou, also known as Jeffrey of Grand Coulibaly, Grand Bay. Mr. Matthew is 47 years of age and a known psychiatric patient was reported to have been missing from Thursday 28 February 2013. He is 5 feet 4 inches tall, dark in complexion, slim built and has a flat haircut. He was last seen in Grand Bay wearing blue long jeans pants and had neither shoes nor shirt on. Anyone with information on Mr. Matthew's whereabouts is asked to contact the nearest police station or call 1-800-HINT or 1-800-TIPS. In more stories, a special dedication ceremony was held on Wednesday, March 13th as workers commenced for the construction of the 47-home Dukesville project, which will be built in Syndicate located in the north of Dominica. Mr. Randolph H. Victor, chairman of Dukesville Limited, says he profoundly believes that God created the world for each and every one of us to make a better place and for each one of us to have a comfortable dwelling habitat. Mr. Victor, who is from the village of Dubla, but lived in the United Kingdom for a number of years, stated his vision and dream of transforming this area into a community getaway is about to become a reality.
This project now unfolding before your eyes has come about through total commitment, extreme determination, great perseverance, many sacrifices, and much hard work of a handful of patriotic Dominicans in the United Kingdom, United States, and Dominica. They had the conviction and burning desire to make a meaningful contribution towards the development and advancement of their homeland, Dominica.
Parliamentary representative for the Collio constituency, Mr. Ronald Toulon stated that this Dukesville project is of great importance in many respects, especially as shelter is one of the basic needs in life. He said this project aids in the government's effort to make land and shelter available in many innovative ways, including the Housing Revolution program.
Your effort is one that is in the private sector. As you all know, it takes two hands to clap. And this is why, as Member of Parliament, I'm happy that the private sector is on board. For too long, however, the public sector has been without a dependable clapping partner in development, especially in the area of housing. I believe that the housing market is ready for innovative development of the kind that you are now embarking on at this time. I believe this effort has potential to change not only housing, but private sector leadership in housing development.
Minister for Lands and Housing, Honorable Reginald Austrie, commended the directors of Dukesville Limited for the very important development, which he says is a strong response to the government's housing program. Mr. Austrie noted this project demonstrates confidence in the investment climate in Dominica, despite the economic challenges we currently face along with the international community.
That we believe that housing and shelter is so critical that over the last 10 years, government has been placing renewed emphasis on providing adequate housing for its people through what is now really known as the housing revolution. And some of the components of this housing revolution, and I'm sure that it will be brought out in this project, is one, the allocation of lots to residents, two, the construction of housing units in various communities, the regularization of persons who've been occupying lands for years and have not been able to obtain titles because of ownership, the renovation of houses that has been estimated to be in the region of some 5,000 to 6,000 houses in this country in need of minor and major renovation works.
Mr. Austrie revealed that the government recently allocated 10 houses using funds from China, where they will be constructing 40 houses, out of which 20 have been completed so far, which will be handed over to residents of the Kalinago territory. Managing Director of Dukesville Limited, Mr. Olu Owonyo, says this high-end housing development will set the benchmark for future developments in Dominica.
We have also added the word green. A green development is that we must be aware of the environmental impact of the development and work to sustain the environment. So landscaping, care of the environment, and water conservation is also key to the development. And since we have such lovely breezes coming from Mont Diablo, there should be no need for air conditioning. And that, of course, will reduce the cost of construction. This project has also been more than a company doing a subdivision and selling lots and building houses. It has always been about people coming together to create economic activity that will improve livelihoods and create jobs.
Dukesville tagline, he said, is the people's company, as the company came from the people, financed and led by a group of ordinary Dominicans who pooled their mega savings to make the dream into reality. In political stories, according to the Minister of Health, Honorable Julius Timothy, Dominica is expected to receive over 100,000 national ID cards by the end of this year. Speaking at the Dominica Labour Party rally on Tuesday night in Roseau, Mr. Timothy noted that the cabinet gave their word to provide $96,000 for the first 1,000 cards. The Electoral Commission will begin to issue identification cards before the end of this year. Therefore, the national ID cards will be ready and issued. Mr. Timothy said The chief reason the United Workers' Party is requesting voter ID cards is try to exclude certain Dominicans, however they are sadly mistaken. Leader of the opposition, Mr. Hector John, strongly disagrees with this statement. Mr. John noted that he is elated that the government understands the importance of national ID cards.
We heard that the government is moving in that direction. We welcome it. But what is very important, that everything to do with the implementation of ID card, also filling of the voters list, has to be under the control of the independent body, the Electoral Commission. Everything, we welcome it, but we want it to be under the control of the Electoral Commission. They will dictate, they'll have the final say on what needs to be on the card. That is very important for us because we want it to be a card primary for voting. We want it to be a card for voting and can be used as an ID as well.
He added that these requirements should be set by the Electoral Commission. It makes no sense having the national ID cards and the necessary requirements are not met, he added.
If you have a card for voting, that is what we have been asking for, to ensure that no Dominican is disenfranchised. Everyone has the opportunity to vote, but we want to vote a card that has the picture ID, also have the basic bio information, and also what is very critical, the voter registration number. These are the things we're asking for, and also the biometric information. That is important to ensure that the person card has their own and it is protected and it was issued by the Electoral Commission. So if we have the card moving in that direction, we welcome it. We do not, we see it can be used, as I said, as a national ID card, but we will want it firstly for voting to ensure that everybody will meet the requirement. They're 18 years and over and meet the other requirements set.
Mr. John also stated that Mr. Lennox Honeychurch's statement on members of the opposition being vertical terrorists is absolutely unfortunate.
And he is making claim that members of the Labour Party should behave like Al-Qaeda, what Obama is doing, what President Obama is doing in America, going to seek Al-Qaeda in every holes around Dominica, nook and cranny. And he mentioned the communities of Lapland, Marigot, and Salisbury specifically. I am calling on the Prime Minister. I'm also calling on the Minister of National Security. I'm calling on the Interdenominational Committee on Crime and Violence, Civil Dominican.
He says he is kindly asking Mr. Honeychurch to issue a public statement as well as a public apology to the people of Dominica and the opposition. In a surprise statement on Tuesday, March 12, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit alerted his supporters to prepare for early general elections and a clean sweep at the polls as he held a victory celebration following a court battle on dual citizenship which ended in favor of the government.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, I did not celebrate yesterday. Neither did I celebrate today, nor will I celebrate tomorrow. I am reserving my celebration for this court victory to my victory and the victory of this great political party at the polls next time around. And I am telling you from now, the day after the next general elections will be a public holiday in Dominica. For I intend to have one full day of celebration of a triumph over these hooligans one more time. And let me say something tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Mitchell in Grenada is my friend. I love him dearly, but I am really jealous of him. Keith has something that I want. He and his new national party in Grenada have accomplished something that I believe this Dominica Labour Party deserves.
Mr. Skerrit urged his supporters to return to their communities and begin to work for what they want while getting themselves ready for another 5 years in government, especially as they do know the hour. Mr. Skerrit said the more he thinks about the clean sweep, the more he's determined that they cannot yield one single seat to the opposition in the next general elections.
Furthermore, I am saying tonight that we are going to fight tooth and nail to increase our numbers in the parliament next time around. I want my revenge for 3 years of mental strain and stress to be a thorough and comprehensive whipping of the United Workers' Party and oppose whatever next elections are held. And you know why I want to beat them badly? Because they are not good for Dominica.
The Prime Minister also referred to the court victory as a repetition in the political narrative of Dominica. On a more serious note, Mr. Skerrit also informed his supporters that he is aware of their concerns regarding economic hardships and the cost of living. However, he stated this is at the top of his agenda as well as creating employment, but the economic crisis is hampering these efforts as in many other Caribbean islands and the world. General elections are due in 2014 as it was last called in 2009. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.